guys, welcome to Stacking the Shelves. For the last month, I've been doing about one of these a month, and so this would be kind of from late May to late June, the books that I got. I did get 11 books to go through, so I'm going to start going through those now. I do have a couple paper ones here. I actually pre-ordered a while ago, Black Butler Volume 31 by Yana Toboso. This is a like manga paranormal historical fantasy type of series. My husband's actually reading right now, so his bookmark is in there. But I'm really enjoying this series. I think so. You're gonna get mini reviews for a lot of these because I have finished most of them already. But I'm really enjoying this series. I do feel like the previous two books I was getting a little bit lost about like what was going on. But this one, she does a great job of recapping like why the story is being told the way it's told. And so we finish up the Ren Mao like storyline and then go into kind of the next part with Baldo and Lao who are heading out. And it looks like the 32nd volume will be kind of Baldo's backstory. So the illustration of these remains really good, really loving these, and very excited to have gotten that. All right, the next book that I got, I have not read yet. I actually just got it today, and that is Witch Hat 8 Layer Volume 9 by Kamomi Shirahama. And love this series. Again, it's a fantasy manga series, very detailed, intricate artwork that's very well done. I've really been enjoying the story. This is appropriate for like young adult and older, so really loving this series, and I'm very excited to see where it ends up. All right, and then the next one that I actually bought for Kindle, and that is On These Wicked Shores, the second book in the Azantian trilogy by Catherine Quinn. This is an adventure fantasy young adult series. I really love the first book in the series, so I'm very much looking forward to reading the second book, and I have not read that yet. I just bought that last week. And then I did get one gift for Mother's Day, and that's something that I'd have on my wish list for a while. And that is The Planetary Omnibus by Warren Ellis and John Cassidy. I don't know a ton about this. It's a graphic novel series. I know the 4 graphic novels are all included in this one deluxe volume. But what I do know is it's about like 3 kind of superheroes that like save the world from different events. And it's Elias Snow, Jaquita Wigner, and the drummer. It's supposed to be kind of a dark superhero type of story and very funny and witty, so I think I will enjoy it. You can tell it's still shrink wrapped. I have not gotten this out to read yet, so I will probably be reading that soon along with Witch Hat 8 Layer. All right, and then I did get quite a few books from the library. I have mentioned like I really love listening to audiobooks, but I'm not commuting into work anymore, so I've been getting some like more novella length audiobooks from the library. I don't actually have my Audible account anymore because we just weren't using it very much. So the next like 4 books I'm going to talk about were audiobooks that I got borrowed from the library on audiobook format to kind of listen to while I was doing stuff around the house or putting together Lego sets or whatever. The first one in that series is The Gentleman's Guide to Getting Lucky by Mackenzie Lee. This is like the 1.5 book in the Montague Siblings series, and that's an older series, but I never read this, and I thought it would be kind of a fun listen. And it's just a very quick, like 2 or 3 hour novella length audiobook about what happened between books 1 and 2 in that series. So it's kind of fun if you're a fan of that series. It was well done and very quick and cute. And then the second one I got that was like a novella audiobook is And the Ocean Was Our Sky by Patrick Ness. This was a retelling of Moby Dick, kind of. You hear from the whale's perspective, and they're actually hunting down a human named Toby Wick. And it's kind of interesting because the whole thing takes place under the ocean, and like the area that humans live in is the abyss, and so like the whole world's kind of upside down. I liked it. I thought it was well done. It's pretty short. But it was entertaining, and I kind of liked how he flipped the whole story on its head. The next one I got, which is another novella length audiobook, is The Girl Who Reads on the Metro by Christine Ferré-Fleury. I didn't like this at all. I listened to maybe the first quarter of it. It was only maybe 6 hours long, and I listened to like an hour and a half of it or something, and it was so boring. The premise is super cute. It sounds super cute. It's a contemporary fiction about a girl in Paris who reads a lot supposedly and rides the metro and likes to make little stories about the people that she sees riding the metro, and she gets roped in to like helping old books find new owners at this used bookstore. And it was so boring. Like I just couldn't deal with it. I was like trying to listen to it, but I kept not being able to just because it could not hold my attention. So I wouldn't recommend that one. The next one I got is another novella length audiobook, and that is The Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. I've heard a lot about this last year and kind of wanted to read it. It's short, it was 4 hours to listen to, but I thought it was kind of an intriguing book. It's about a woman in Japan who she's either like has some serious autism or is very much on the spectrum, or she might even be so far as to be kind of a psychopath. But she finds a very real comfortable place to contribute to society working as a convenience store person. And she's very, very good at it, but her family thinks something is wrong with her because she like went to college and everything, and now she's just working as a convenience store person on a very minimal income. And while she doesn't see an issue with it, a lot of people around her have an issue with it and are trying to get her to fix herself. She takes their suggestion and actually does an experiment to try and fix herself. And it's interesting to try to follow that. There's a lot of food for thought. It's a very short book. There's a lot of food for thought, both on how society like treats people who are different and how some people just get completion in their life in different ways, So interesting read. I actually liked it a lot. I thought it was kind of unique, and it made me think a lot about just our society structure and stuff like that. So, and then I got one more book from the library that was a fuller length. I think it's like 6 or 7 hours audiobook, and that is Certain Dark Things by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, and I am listening to that right now. And this is more of like I don't even know how to explain, like a cyberpunk vampire novel or something. It's something like that. I haven't gotten very far into it. I'm only about like 10% of the way in. But so far it's been kind of interesting. It feels like it's like a gritty noir futuristic cyberpunky but with vampires or something. I don't know. And then I did get 2 books through Kindle Unlimited that I'm not sure if I put the last one. I think I did. The Last Prince of Darkness or whatever. I think that was in my stack in the shelves, but if that wasn't, I may have forgot to add that to that list. But Angela Hudson is an author who writes for Kindle Unlimited, and she has a few series on there. One of them is the Evernight Fae series. So I did borrow and read The Last Prince of Darkness. I liked it. I like fairy-based, like contemporary fantasy, and that's mainly what this is. Although it's interesting because it starts like when the characters are kids, and then it goes like when they're older. Now I'm reading the second book, and now they're even older. So it spans a lot more time than those series typically do. Her writing style is a little rough. Like it doesn't flow quite as well. It does seem a little fan fiction-y at times. But so long way of saying, I did get The Last Prince of Darkness and the second book in the Evernight Fae series, Forest of Bones and Cages, through Kindle Unlimited. And I've been enjoying it. They're like shortish books, they're like 200 or 300 pages, and they're just quick, kind of fun reads. The main character is really snarky, and I like all the Fae like stuff going on in there. So they're just purely like, I don't know, cheap, guilty pleasure reads. That's kind of what they are. But I borrowed those 2. And then the other one I borrowed from Kindle Unlimited is Shifting Dreams, which is the first book in the Cambria Springs series by Elizabeth Hunter. This is a paranormal romance series. Elizabeth Hunter, I've read a couple of her series, and the 2 that I read were kind of more, they're classified as like paranormal women's fiction because the women characters are in their 40s, like I am. And I really enjoyed her writing style and her plots and her characters. I just thought they're very easy to read, very professionally done. I really like the style. So I'm trying to branch out and read more of her series. I only have like 10 books on my to be read pile right now, so I am starting to get some new books in series, and I am pretty much through. I'll have to do an update on my, I had 10 new authors I wanted to read this year, and I'm almost done with that. I think I have one more, and then I had 20 books I wanted to read this year, and the only one I haven't read on that list is The Stand by Stephen King, which I hope to read soon. So I'm pretty good as far as my authors list and book list stuff I want to get done for this year. So I'm starting to pull in some new series. And I know, long time no talk, since, I'm only doing these once a month. We've all been doing pretty good here. I am applying to take my patent bar exam, but me and the patent office has been going back and forth a little bit because they needed proof that my name was changed when I got married and some other documentation that originally was not part of the initial submission process. So I'm working on that. I have kind of lightened up on my studying for that because I've heard the testing centers are pretty backed up here in Minnesota. We don't have a lot of testing centers for that, so I don't want to be heavily studying for the next like 3 or 4 months since I've already studied so much. So I'm going to pull back a little bit on my study time and start studying again more intensely like the month before I go in for the exam. My son is done with school. He did get his driver's permit. He has been out driving like 6 or 7 times. I did the first session with him, and I'm kind of a nervous person, and I make him nervous. And so after that first driving session, my husband's been taking him because my husband's a lot more laid back. And so they're doing about an hour of driving every night together. So that's been exciting. I like to sit at home with my phone because I'm like worried that they're going to call and that he hit something. But so far so good. He's been doing a good job and getting better. We did take a vacation a few weeks ago. We went through Chicago to visit my sister and went down to, we went over to Indiana, Sand Dunes National Park, which honestly is kind of small. We did a nice hike there, but there's not a ton to see. And then we went to Mammoth Caves, and we spent almost 6 hours doing cave tours one day there. And that was very cool. If you like caves at all, it's a very neat cave. It's very different from any other cave we've been through just because it's so big. There's not like a lot of cave formations, but it's just huge. They call it Mammoth Cave for a reason because it's big. And then we also went to Squire Boone Caverns, which is a very different cave. It's very wet. It actually has a river going through a lot of it. And so tons of cave formations. That was a very cool cave, but again, very different. So like we like to do a lot of tours through caves, and they're all very different from, you think a cave is cave, but not really. These two that we went through were especially different. And then while we were down there, we were actually staying in Louisville, Kentucky, and for most of the trip, and we did something called Activate Games, which was kind of cool. It's a little different. It's like somewhere between a VR gaming experience and like an escape room. You get like a wristband and you can go into these different rooms that have like these live action games. Like the floor lights up in different colors and you and your team have to like step on the right colors and get back to certain areas or whatever. So it's kind of this like crazy scrambling, very physically active gaming thing, but you only do it with your party, which was kind of nice. So all of this stuff was very fun. We're back home. We got back home late last week, and again, son's on spring break, so we're ramping up for some spring break activities. He's going to be doing a couple week-long courses at Hamline University that's targeted at high schoolers, one on microscopy and one on renewable energy processes. He's going to be doing his Adventures in Cardboard again, which he does every year, which is a camp where they build stuff. They like rent out a regional park and the kids get put on teams and they build stuff with cardboard and try to take over territories and stuff. It's hard to explain, but he has a really good time doing that. And then we're going to do a couple other trips. We're going to go out to the North Shore around 4th of July time again to do some hiking and just enjoy Lake Superior. It's always nice and cool up there. And then probably going to Denver in August to go to Rocky Mountain National Park. So we are trying to hit a lot of national parks. That's kind of what we like to do. And find some new cities. And we're going to take my son by the University of Colorado Boulder because it's supposed to be a really pretty campus, and we're kind of taking him to different colleges' campuses that are like near where we're going on vacation, just so he can see some different places and get a feel for it, because he is a sophomore next year, and junior year he's gonna have to start thinking about that. So yeah, so I probably talked more about personal stuff than books. Other than that, just working, doing our normal thing. It was super hot here last few days in Minnesota. It was 100 yesterday, 100 the day before, but today's only going to be 90. Quite a change from, I think it was early May, we were still in the 40s, so quite a swing. But we're all doing well, and with that, I'll wrap things up. I hope that you guys got a lot of great books over the last month and you're enjoying reading them and that things are going well. And I will probably do another video the end of June to cover favorite books of May and June, because I kind of missed my favorite books of May, so I'm just going to do that as a dual post. So anyways, have a great week of reading. Hope you got great books, and I will talk to you later. Bye.